What is up, collector family? And as you can see from the title, it is time for my 2020 favorite games, best games, favorite best games, my 2020 top 10 games of the year. Let's get it. Okay, guys, welcome back. I want to start this off. So we're gonna do 10, and my 10. This is my 10, and these are. It's gonna be a combination between my favorite games, the games I thought were the best made games, and and just a little bit the games I had the most fun with, and whatnot. And I'll take a little bit of audience and critic reviews into account on this list also, but this is my personal top 10. So I want to preface the top 10 though by saying I have not played Hades, I have not played Demon Souls, I have not played Call of Duty Cold War, I have not played Gears Tactics yet, and I have not played Miles Morales yet. So, with that being said, those 5 games are not. Set those aside because I know Demon Souls, I know Hades, and I know Miles Morales is going to be could be in a lot of people's top 10. But aside from that, I've basically played everything else all year, even though it was a light year. But let's get into it. Here we go. Number 10. Number 10 is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Now, Fall Guys, a platforming battle royale style game with up to 60 players online, and it's just madness. It's madness, and it's awesome, and it's crazy, and it's obstacle course style game, similar to real life reality shows and obstacle course shows like Wipeout and stuff. And you're just a little bean, and you can put on funny costumes, and it's just wild and crazy. And there's multiple rounds. I think there's like 4 rounds. And the last bean standing at the end is a winner after multiple rounds. And it's super fun. It's addicting. And it just makes you want to keep pushing to get that last spot, to be the last man standing. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Number 9, Mafia Definitive Edition. What can I say about this action adventure game? That it was so beautifully remade by Hangar 13 and 2K Games, it's a little unique, but at the same time it's got that little bit of Grand Theft Auto feel, and you just follow a crime family based around the city, similar to Chicago, but in like the 1930s, and it's just a great story. Tons of side missions, open world mode, so much packed in this like little game. I think it took me like 10, 11, maybe 12 hours to complete the story. But outstanding voice acting performances, and looks really good in Xbox One X Enhanced. Number 8, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Square Enix's complete overhaul and remake of the classic from 1997 is amazing. Graphically, narrative, soundtrack, gameplay, which is a complete overhaul, by the way. And now and it moves more to an action RPG instead of a turn-based. And they just did so well on it, and it looks beautiful, and it kind of caters a little more to all the gamers. And for me, it was really nice to get rid of all the turn-based and kind of have it more different styles can play it. And they did so well, and I can't wait to see the next part of it. Number 7, Doom Eternal. Bethesda. Now under the Microsoft umbrella, though this was released before the purchase. Release possibly its final multi-platform Doom game, and it's a gem, a first-person shooter that has been taken up a notch in 2020. Crazy level design with now tons of new platforming aspects, fantastic combat and mechanics, fast-paced, in-your-face action, killer boss fights, better storytelling, and it begs the question, when will we see the next Doom game? And will it be a Microsoft Xbox Series X exclusive? Number 6, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. A couple games that were iconic and in desperate need of a makeover got just that in 2020. This beautiful third-person skateboarding game was so masterfully done that I deemed it the best skateboarding game of all time. With just the right amount of arcade feel, splashed with stunning graphics, the coolest soundtracks, and insane level design, the nostalgia reaches max heights. Go, do a 900, and get this game right now. Number 5, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. 2020 may have been limited on the game releases compared to previous years, especially 2019. But this game struck a chord with so many people. It literally sold out Nintendo Switch consoles for months. And I saw people play video games who hadn't in 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. This life simulation game was just the escape people were looking for in 2020. And it was the perfect game for people to sink hundreds of hours into who suddenly had so much free time and open time in their life because of COVID. Nintendo revitalized this franchise with even more customization, daily, weekly, monthly, holiday perks, goals, upgrades, endless content and gameplay, and easily the best of the franchise to date. Number 4, Cyberpunk 2077. I know, right? How could I? But stop feeding into the hate train. At the core, this game is amazing. The risks CD Projekt took is worth the wait for them to fix the bugs. Or worth it to just wait and get your hands on a next-gen console. This is the developer that gave the world Witcher 3. They deserve a shot at making things right, and I think they will. This immersive, first-person, open-world action RPG has such a compelling narrative. Setting, characters, and lore. The graphics on PC and next gen are what it's all about. And I can't wait for the bugs to be worked out so millions can enjoy Night City. Number 3, Immortals: Phoenix Rising. Ubisoft came through in 2020 with a stellar third-person action-adventure game. A huge open world, Breath of the Wild-esque graphics, a story that brings you famous gods, ferocious monsters, crafting, and a little bit of platforming challenges. Visually beautiful on next-gen consoles and even on Nintendo Switch. This is a must-play for the year of 2020. This sometimes humorous, exciting Greek mythology title is easily one of the best titles from Ubisoft in years. Number 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Ubisoft had quite the year, to say the least, especially when it comes to epic open-world games. This action-adventure, action RPG has so much content packed in it that you can easily sink in 100 hours before you even think about finishing the main story. The 22nd installment in this series is graphically stunning, beautifully voice acted, with outstanding character arcs and story missions. I'm addicted to this game. The treasure chest hunting, exploring, fighting off wildlife like wolves and polar bears, and the pure Viking lore of raids, battles, standoffs, and boss fights. My Series X has been working overtime lately with Ivor and his crew. Number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. To me, 2020 had a no-doubter game of the year 6 months ago with this Sucker Punch Productions masterpiece. This gigantic open-world, third-person, action-adventure stealth game is exactly what a samurai game should be about. From the opening scenes of the Mongol invasion of Japan, this compelling adventure drives home the quest to fight for your family and your country in 13th century Japan. It's quite the age of visuals that we're in right now for gaming, and and we are lucky to get to experience such beauty and art in games like this. Jin Sakai's adventure takes you across sprawling countrysides, mountainscapes, forests with leaves raining down upon you, small and large villages as you fight your way back to your lord Shimura and defeat the Mongol army. The combat and standoffs and infiltrations of large bases makes this one of the best Sony exclusive games ever made, and my pick for the best game made of 2020. So there it is, guys. That's my top 10 games of the year. And I know you're probably thinking, Hidden Gamer, Collector Family, he left something off the list. He left a game off the list. And if that game you're thinking of is this one, then you're damn right I left it off. One of the most split games to me in gaming history did not deserve a place in my top 10. I could make a whole separate episode on why that game is not a top 10 game of the year, why it's not game of the year, and why Sony and Naughty Dog and the director whose name I won't speak of did not do us fans justice, us gamers justice. That could be a whole separate episode. But for me, it's too split. I didn't like the story. And they took one of the main faces of Sony characters and didn't do him proper justice. I could have a lot to say about that game, but there's too many other great games in 2020. And Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, Immortals, just so many great games. And Animal Crossing took over the world for the first half of the year. Nintendo Switch is sold out, and that's just what it's about, is selling games, selling consoles, getting people that don't normally game into gaming, or back into gaming. And it was a good year. Despite everything that went on, we still got some really great games, and that's my top 10. Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm sure I'll get a little hate for The Last of Us, but like I said, Hades, Demon Souls, Miles Morales, maybe even COD, Cold War could have been in there, but I haven't got to them yet. But it was time to do a top 10, and that's my top 10. So leave me below your top 3 of the year, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.